guilty of crime.
Hello, everybody. What's up? I am Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back. Look at that. Look at that sweet shirt I got on. I'm cold, and it's doing the trick, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Yes, Grish's video is so good. We're going to watch it tomorrow, and we're going to break it down, guys. It's crazy. Shocking text on there. We're going to break that down tomorrow, but today we got Stephan Sterns' Mama Bear responds to me, Jay, from Guilty of Crime. And when we talk about this, does it change your mind? Hashtag Jennifer Soto, hashtag live, hashtag arrest Jen Soto. What's up, guys? You guys do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and get a membership if you can. What's up, everybody? Now, I just realized that when I come on, every time I come on and do a video or I do anything, I come on, I say, hey, this is Jay with Guilty of Crime, and I do my spiel, right? Hit the like, subscribe if you haven't, membership if you can. Right now, we're talking about the Madeline Soto case. That's what we're here for, is complete and utter justice for Madeline Soto. I never really realized that every time I do that, I'm like, hey, like, subscribe, and share, because that's what YouTube asks us creators to do. The only way we can get into the algorithm or the YouTube universe is by hashtagging things correctly, telling you guys and making you guys hit the like and comment and all that stuff, right? So it kind of put me in check a little bit. Now, today you see the title, Deb responds to Jay. Yes, Deb responded to me. So I'm going to read that. That started on Facebook and it ended up on my phone. Now, if you watch the video at all, you'll see me actually like telemarketing almost, but it's kind of like just doing a report. If I were a reporter, it would be like doing a reporter job. So when someone says, catch me if you can, you have my number, don't you, Jay? And they say that to me, I say yes. And I find the number, I find 5 numbers, and then I call. All right. So if you guys haven't watched the video, the 25-minute video, you guys can watch it after. I'm going to do it in real time, except I'm not going to make the 5 phone calls. But what I did notice is that I made this video and I sent it over to Deb, and she didn't like it very much. She didn't like it because, well, the first thing I say is hit the like button, subscribe, and get a membership. And she got upset. She said it's all about likes and it's all about the likes and the views, and really that's not what it's about at all. I say that and I realized, dang, I say that in every video. I even said it in the video that I sent to her, because I realized if we can get you guys as an audience and new members in here to see the narrative and see the side that Deb is wanting us to see, that's the only way I can do that, and that's the only way I can get it out to you guys, is if I ask you to do that. So, Real Gemini, the Guilty of Crime gang, hello, my beautiful sisters and brothers, and Jay, my I'm just kidding. What's up, my friends? What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Good to see Maria in the house. Finally made it on time. Kimber Smiles, good to see you. Rachel Burton, Microwave Cheese, Jay and crew. What's up, you guys? You guys know we hustle over here at Guilty of Crime. We're the crime crew family. And whether it's me reaching out to someone or one of you guys coming to me and saying, you know, someone, that's how we do it around here. That's what we do. We're trying to get justice for Maddie. And I do have a heart. I do have a heart. And when Stephan Sterns' parents talk, I want to hear what they have to say, because I'm like, okay, well, my mom, I've seen her do that, and I gave you guys many reasons. So we'll get into that. I want to make sure everyone's here. Brenda Lee. It's about understanding the truth of the crimes and connecting the facts. Exactly, Brenda. That's exactly what it's about. And Deb's going to question if we want the truth or not in this. If you haven't heard it, she's going to question it. All right. Psychic Amelia, good to see you. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to read, I'm going to start off with the date and what I wrote, and then when I got it back, etc. We're going to start from the beginning minus the phone calls. You know, that's a good question. I'll tell you though. Yeah. Hashtag arrest Jen Soto crew. That's what I want to know, because I don't think Deb likes Jennifer Soto either. I think Deb believes, and we believe, that Jennifer Soto had just as much to do with the 60 abuse charges as Stephan Sterns, and part of the taking of Maddie's life. I absolutely, at the core of my heart, believe that by listening to these interviews and what Deb says. So I'm going to share my screen with you on Facebook so I can be transparent with you guys. I'm not putting any names or anything out there. It's mine, and I just want you guys to see it. I'm going to read it to you. It's bedtime stories with Jay. All right, you guys see that? Do I need to make it bigger? All right, I'm on the bottom. Look to your right of the screen, everybody. And again, get a membership, gift one if you can, help the crew out. Nat, thank you so much, Nat, for the one Guilty of Crime membership. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Look on your right. That is actually, I think that might be my personal Facebook. I don't even use that Facebook for you guys. So I am at the bottom left. And if you look at the bottom right, it says Deborah Callahan Sterns. All right. So I wrote to her, and I'm going to start with that. We're going to do story time with Jay. What's up? Good day, Roots. Good to see you, everybody. All right. To my right, it says Deborah Callahan Sterns. And this is my personal ding. I didn't mean to use my personal Facebook, but I did. Jay Scott. All right. Now, on September 22nd, 2024, at what time is that? 1:00 p.m. I wrote, Deborah, hopefully this message finds you well. I wanted to discuss having a quick 30-minute talk with you, either by cell phone or we can do a Zoom meeting link. I have a YouTube called Guilty of Crime, and I've been covering the Madeline Soto case since day one. I've been working with the advocates for Tyler and working on Madeline Soto acts. I will drop the link at the bottom of this email if you would kindly let me know if I can take up maybe 30 minutes of your time to talk about how things have turned around unfairly on you and your husband, Chris, in the light of all these things. I did see the interview between you and Hidden True Crime, and that was great. And I understand a lot of what channels they come, the case, their perspective is a clinical one, and I'd like to take the time to get the hard truth out from your perspective. Please let me know either way if you're interested in giving me a bit of your time to let people know that you're not responsible for the actions of your son, and Jen Soto is responsible for her actions that led to the lives being taken. And then I put my Guilty of Crime YouTube. I put up a link, and then nothing. I didn't get anything back. So later on, I think, or right after, just let me know when this works. I have a couple questions that have been lingering. I'd like to straighten them out and hear back from you. Much appreciation. I've been working with the Florida advocates for the family on the Wallace, not the Soto side. All right. Then nothing for 6 months or more. Let me see. September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So 6 months. I didn't hear anything back. And then 6 months later, on a Sunday, March 23rd, 2025, I get a response. All right. Now, this is much, much later, 6 months later. You know, I'm going through the motions. We're doing the case, covering it. What's up, Starzy? Good to see you. Thanks everyone here that either's a new member. gifted 5 memberships more. Got a membership. Nancy Jean, thank you so much for the $1.99 super sticker. I appreciate you. Kim Smiles, love you, girl. Thank you for the $2.99 super sticker. I appreciate it. All right, so story time with Jay. Now we get to Jay Scott on the left, Deborah Callahan Stearns on the right, and I get a message. And I've been sitting on it because I really wanted to have a genuine, and I still do want to have a genuine talk with Deb. And I want you guys to, help me out. She does watch. Yeah, absolutely. She does watch that. And the reason I was betting on Deb watching is because many things that they say in the jail calls and just in interviews alone, things that they reference, I'm the only one that came out with that. Now, when people report on my stuff, I know where that's coming from too, because I'm the one that had the lead on that. And I'm the only one that had a lead on a certain thing. So us YouTubers know, just like when Paula from Plunder put something out first, she knows that the next person it gets to, it came from her. Right. So good to see you, Dream Crazy, watching a cross trainer. I'm glad you guys are here. Now I'm going to read Deb's response. All right. And if you guys saw the video, I read that to you, but then I had to reach out and call her because she says, Jay, I would have to know you would tell the truth. No one else but Lauren and John have. And you guys know Lauren and John, Hidden True Crime. I haven't given them any interviews either because I've read what they already did. Now, you got to remember what we already did here, too, is play all the jail calls and then everybody talked mad crap, right? Those parents, everybody in chat's going wild. So, all right, so here we go. Let's continue. So Deb is read about everyone and what we're saying, what we're doing. She says to me, you don't like me without knowing me. And you could read that on the right. In fact, I think you despise me, but you don't know how much I loved Maddie and how I detested Jen's parenting. Right there, that got me. I'm like, I want to hear more. I want to hear more about this. When I hear that she loved Maddie and detested Jen's parenting, I want to know more. Why? Well, what did she do? What was her parenting like? What happened? Like, I'm just like, well, I just want to know. I want to know. All right, so how her family treated her. Now we're talking about Jen, guys. I loved Maddie and I detested Jen's parenting. How her family treated her. Stephan and I'm going to say Stephan and her were starting in on Maddie. So Jen and Stephan were starting in on Maddie, how the family treated Jen and how they treated Maddie. They're starting to treat Maddie like the family is treating them. I'm talking about Jen's mother, Jay. Now we're talking about Yolanda. I've been called a bad mother. I've been called an abuser, a briber, possibly assaulting Stephan as a child. My husband should leave me and I'm not a Christian. None of which is true, Jay. Imagine hearing all these lies about you and no one wants the truth. Even if you do a polygraph and answer every question and it still shows I'm telling the truth, no one wants the truth. It won't get clicks. No one wants to know that they've revealed and defamed an innocent person. They might feel badly for a minute. I'm not anything they have said. I'm also not stupid or naive. All right. So, I imagine where she's coming from. And you guys, as we're going, hit the like button, you guys, and then share this after. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly. I want to hear what the real truth is. That's what I want. I don't come on here to call people names and be snarky with people. I do that because that's how I feel about certain things when I don't know. So of course I want to know. All right. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I'll leave it there. Hashtag arrest Jen Soto already. All right. So everyone wants an outlet for rage and venom. And you guys know my channel is not for rage and venom at all. Right. We want the truth. We want justice for Maddie and all the other children. Right. Okay. Nazaya, Kamani, all them. All right. Sebastian. All right. So this says everyone wants an outlet for rage and venom that they carry in their hearts for whatever source. when they get a chance to purge and act vile to a stranger, they do it, meaning you and me, because they don't want to unload on anyone they know. I am not Satan's mistress. I am a 72-year-old veteran, Christian mother, and I breed healthy, gorgeous dogs for service dogs as well as love pets. Again, that got me too, because we have a mobile grooming business, and I have a lot of pets, and just the whole Maddie thing, and then Jen and the relationships. I also want to know about Jen's relationship with Maddie, like a whole bunch. I'm not getting that from anyone. Yeah, right? Yeah, right. And you guys can see that right there. I'm showing you. All right. So I have nothing else to prove. All right. Oh, actually, it says they could all show and all win, all the service dogs and show dogs. I've proved that. I have nothing else to prove. I help people all the time. I have deep empathy for others. I do, however, have an Irish temper. I didn't know exactly what an Irish temper was at the time because, well, I'm not Irish. So I have an Irish temper, which I've heard before. I heard on the interview with John and Lauren and several times, right? However, I have an Irish temper. It goes with the red mixed in my hair, I guess. If you really want an honest discussion, then call. You have the number, don't you? All right. So you guys watch the video, and you watch the video and you see me making phone calls. And that was after I said, I believe you and despise Jen Soto. And I'd love to hear your side, even if it's off the record. I have your number, but we'll give you my personal one if you want to talk. And I go on to say, I never thought you were an abuser. Maybe just a little overprotective, but who isn't? I have 2 kids. Oh, I don't want to show my number. I didn't mean to. If I showed my number, do not call my number, guys. All right. So that was it. I gave her my number, and we didn't talk through there. I'm gonna stop sharing that. I didn't. If I shared my number on accident, do not ever call that number. All right. So we have a mobile grooming business, but we're in San Jose. We're in the Bay Area, so I don't think I'll be able to help you. Only me, baby, too. All right. Arrest Jen Soto. Kathy says, Jay, you're the best. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate. Yeah, I never heard that either, but in the John and Lauren video, they ask her that. So we could finish it if you guys want. All right. So then it goes to my phone. Again, you'll see I called. I don't want you can't see the numbers. I called a bunch of different numbers. I obviously got through to one. And then I sent that video that I put on earlier. I played it for her. So if you guys have not watched that video, it went from members only, and now it's not members only. It is is it still members only? Let me see. Have you guys watched it? Are you guys able to see that video yet? I'm just curious. Who has seen the video here? Hold on. If not, I can drop a link in there. If you haven't seen it, I went from members only. Okay, you haven't seen it. Okay. Well, I'm going to drop a link down below. It's me discussing this and then calling and all that stuff. So I dropped a link below. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. So then it comes onto my phone. I made the video again. Whenever I come on here, I say, "Hey, oh good, I'm glad you watched it, sweetie." All right. So then it what do you call that? Okay, so I dropped the link. She didn't like the video. Again, I come on and I say hit the like button, subscribe, and then of course, I mean, I understand not understanding what I'm saying, thinking I just want likes and views when I'm really trying to get to the bottom of the situation. So then that's what she says on my phone. I can't show you the phone numbers or anything, but then she says, well, I don't believe that you want to have an honest conversation. I think you just want to get likes and subscribes. I tell her, hey, I'm not trying to do that. I really want an honest conversation. And then a week later, I get a heart. That's it. So right now, I'm just trying to talk to you guys and let you know that that's the deal, right? That's the deal. I'm glad you watched the video. I'm gonna play some more of this interview. We're gonna finish that off so we can finish this conversation and going back and forth and understanding what we need to do to get. I mean, this is a big case, guys. This is a big deal when the person that's on on that could be on death row for a capital murder and 60 of those SA charges, and you're having interviews with the parents with the people that are helping advocate in the beginning, right? All the sources I've made, and then it's just a big deal. Not Jay isn't like exactly. That's what I wanted you guys to come on here for and watch these with me and try to turn the narrative to at least give a perspective for other people to see that, hey, that's not what we're about. Like I don't have a doctorate degree like Dr. John, but I sure as hell have sympathy and I want to hear the truth. That's all I have to tell her. You have to tell her that YouTube make you. That's what I said. That's what I'm saying right now. All right, let's finish this some more. That gives you something to do later. You guys know about Grish. Go watch that video as well afterwards. And I'm going to report on that tomorrow because that's a big deal. Grish should be a detective.
Cooking a hose.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was at a track meet. And after the track meet, he was in so much pain that we thought he was having appendicitis and rushed him to the hospital.
The pain was similar to having kidney stones. I mean, he would be in such excruciating pain, he would throw up.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But he was, after the surgery, he was okay.
That's what I think.
It was successful.
Yeah.
Yes, except that it kept him from the military, which is what he wanted to do to begin with. He wanted to join the Air Force. He joined ROTC in high school, loved it.
Well, you guys got to think about this. When I first came out, you guys, when this case hit, I had like 5,000 subscribers, right? I don't have that many. I have like 22,005 or whatever. I don't have that many, but think about this 6 months ago. I only had like maybe 10 or 15,000. They didn't know who I was from Adam, right? And so then I sent a message and now they've been watching my channel for the last 6 months. And the Sotos watch it too. They all watch it. But yes, Michelle, unless you see it for yourself and have time to digest things and see that Guilty of Crime would never attack our guests, then that's the only way. That's the only way that we can do that. All right. So I appreciate you guys. I'm glad you guys all feel comfortable being here. Everyone says they always feel comfortable on here and safe, that they're not going to get attacked.
But when he went to enlist, they saw the scars. They were just little puncture scars.
420.
And asked him what it was. He said, well, that's where they went in and they fixed the artery over the ureter. There was no problem with his kidney after that. But because there was a kidney involved surgery, he was being disqualified. Passed all of his testing with flying colors, but because of that, they didn't let him in. And that was a real blow to him.
Yes.
It kind of upended everything he thought he wanted to do with his life.
I agree.
Yeah. So, and he would have been roughly what, like 19, 20 at that point when he applied for the Air Force?
18
18?
straight out of high school.
Gotcha. Okay.
In fact, I took him to the recruitment office. I was
Did you notice
I mean, I'd love to talk to Deb, even if it was just Deb, about how things are going now that Stephan has been in there for as long as he has, 9 months, seeing Jen run around out there, not being behind bars while Stephan's calling and calling and calling to get money. And then he doesn't call and they wonder what's happening. That's what I want to know. I want to know about Jen, the kind of mother, when you say that you detest Jen's mothering skills, what does that mean? Like, what was she doing? Now we know she was letting Stephan sleep with Maddie, and they knew that too. And they even had a talk with Stephan and Maddie. But what about Jen? What about Jen? And I do believe that Chris and Deb did care for Maddie as, maybe step grandparents, but I'd like to know more.
after he was rejected for that, did you notice any changes in his demeanor?
Very depressed, very angry.
Okay.
Which ended up being so minimal, was going to cause such a huge rift in his life.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. And I presume that he couldn't revisit that after they reject him once, then it's...
No, it stays on the record forever.
Yes, that's what I want to know. I want to know about Jen and what she did.
did you, Lauren, did you have, it sounded like you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. There was a phone call I was getting and it came up on my earphones and I thought everyone could hear it. So I apologized, but didn't mean to.
Nope, good.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it. Couldn't hear it.
Okay. No, I'm waiting for you to make sure that you have all of your questions. I have a few more questions, but not until you feel like you
I
understand
wanted
enough
to,
yourself.
thank you guys for sending
Thank you,
over
Marcy.
kind of a summary of your thoughts before this interview. That was helpful to me. There was one thing that
This
I
is
wanted to read here that really stood out for me. You said, I mean, there's a lot of things that stood out, but this is one that I thought was really interesting, given what we know about what happened with Madeline. I don't have page numbers here, but I'll just read it. You said Stephan has a deep empathy for people and was the person most of his friends turned to when they were in trouble.
Yes.
Yes.
And you also talked about how he considered becoming maybe a drug counselor and helping people with that, right? And so,
That was after David's death. Yeah.
And so I think what's interesting to me, I'll have you guys talk about that in a second. I just want to reflect on that for a minute. Is that I think there's this tendency to want to pigeonhole people and say,
and I don't think he was for very long. I know that he was for a short term. Now, I don't have his whole background here in front of me, but at one point we were looking at Stephan's parents, and there were episodes where we were just focusing on that. So I know about their filing for divorce. I know about him being cop for a short time, but I don't have that in front of me right now. So yeah, it is. It's definitely a dark question mark, right? We want to understand Jen. Yeah, absolutely we do. She's over there hiding. The family's justifying it. These family members, I feel like we're getting more of the truth from them than anyone. Even Stephan is talking about things that happen, whether he's lying or not. He's still helping us to fill in the blanks. All right. Yeah, we do love Grish. We love his mind and we love the way he works. We wish he could be a detective for this case. And he kind of is. He's bringing some cool things to light. And that's what we want to do here.
This guy's a monster, or he's a psychopath or whatever. But when you say that and you talk about that side of him, I think it's important to recognize this is your son. And this is a complex human being with a lot of different emotions. And even though you guys describe him as a liar and a gaslighter and all, he's all these negative things, it's also important to remember that this is someone with a lot of empathy and someone who did, for the most part, it sounds like he did want to do good, or he wanted to be close to people, to be close to you guys. And so I just want to point out that people can be contradictory. Things are never as simple as they seem, right? And so I thought maybe I would just throw this over to you guys to talk about those contradictions in your son and how he wasn't just one thing. He was a multitude of things.
Aren't we all?
Right. But could you maybe talk about, can you tell us a little bit about the empathy and the positives and the things you really loved about Stephan?
Okay. I'm a big animal person. He had such a love for animals. He was so careful with them. I mean, even when he was living with Jen, they found a kitten in the parking lot that was basically dying, and they scooped it up and took it down and brought it back. She still got the cat. When he went to help us move Chris's sister out of a place where she was and into a hospital, because she has some problems.
She's in assisted living. She has dementia.
See, the parents know that too. Everybody that knows Jen Soto, also they'll talk about her going to the hospital and whatnot. Everybody knows Jen Soto's demeanor, and they know her issues that she has. And it's interesting that they talk about that right now, about Stephan liking animals or loving them, because in the phone calls, didn't we hear about Stephan wanting to hurt some of those animals? So it's very interesting. What's up, One Love Revolutionary and Marta? Good to see all you here today. Millie, my girl, how you doing? Good to see you. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, Dr. John is the best. He's awesome. And him and Lauren are an absolute dream team, right? Husband and wife.
Yeah, she has advanced dementia. But she had a dog. Well, they found that dog in the apartment in horrible conditions with a harness that was grown into his body, and Stephan couldn't leave the dog behind. he brought the dog home with him, and
Yeah.
on the way home, he called. He said, "We've got to get him washed. We've got to get him groomed. He smells. He's got poop all over him." And and so we did. We paid for that, and he brought that dog home, and that's Sailor, and that's who Jen has now as her ESA. So he loved him. Loved his horse Rue. Really did. Loved all the horses. Loved all the poodles here. He had his own poodle for a while, Shadow. But then when he left home,
Good to see
he
you,
took Shadow
Emma.
with him. And Jen didn't want a big dog because he would jump up and knock Madeline over. So when the chance came to rehome Shadow, we did. And that broke his heart because we did that.
Hey, Claudia.
Skippy the squirrel.
Skippy the squirrel. Yes, he was always bringing animals home.
I wonder
He got bitten
why.
by a snake. And he came and got me. He says, he's holding his, it bit me. I'm going, okay. Found a bucket. Had a splatter screen from the frying pan. I put over the top of the bucket. We jumped in the car, ran to the emergency room. And I'm going in there. I'm saying, I don't know what happened or what it is, but my son's been bitten by a snake.
Welcome, Jamie. Good to see you,
this is Florida,
Jamie.
we've got quite a few. And I remember that the guy said, well, can you describe the snake? I said, well, yeah. I said, here it is. And I handed him the bucket and everybody cleared the room.
So some of the charges on there talk about bestiality, and we've gone over that several times. Foxy knows a little more. She might have a little more of the correct verbiage, but that's what doing something with a dog was. I also thought they mentioned something about him hurting an animal. So yeah, but that definitely, I'm talking about the jail calls, and then the bestiality was in the charges that we've seen. Melanie, good to see you. Get those likes up, Mama. Needs a new membership. Welcome, Melanie. Good to see you. All of you guys. Yeah, that Kool-Aid, the cool gentle. Too bad he killed an innocent kid after. Right. And who knows what else to how many other people, right? All those 35,000 images. We don't know what other children were being abused by that. So let's keep going. Let's get this over with today. Jay is tired. I'm tired.
I mean, people were running. So found out that it was fairly harmless, but still, I mean, he would just reach down and grab them, pick them up. Lizards, chameleons, the aquarium. Oh my God! And then he brought home this huge soft-shelled turtle that had been hit by a car. Well, we had a pool in the backyard where he could rehab that, and my horse was badly hurt in an accident, and I rehabbed him.
Thank you.
Really, I think all of us kind of tended to go in that direction with rehabbing animals, and he was going to try rehabbing people, I guess. I don't say that casually. I mean it seriously. He had his ups and his downs, and he had things that he had done wrong, and he dabbled in stuff that he shouldn't have probably, but he never got addicted to it. So
yep,
I think he empathized with people who did. If that helps, I don't know. He always things that really made me angry, still does, is he always covered for his friends. He would lie to us about what they were doing when they were doing something wrong. And I felt like that was disloyal to us because he would bring them into our house and ask us to help them. And I would, because my mother did the same thing to me. Any of us who had a friend in need, my mother's house was open. If she had a child in need, house was open. She took me back in when I needed it. During our almost divorce that everybody seems to be so interested in. It happened over 30 years ago. And
see, you guys, there were some episodes where we completely honed in on Stephan's parents, but you always want to know who, raised somebody, if they were abused, if it was a broken home, if they were in foster care, whatever. And the only thing we really found out was that they almost went through a divorce one time, and Chris was possibly cheating, but they talk about that and they kind of try to dispel that. So again, I would have to ask Deb for that. That's who I reached out to originally, initially, and still today. Yeah, there you go. Bestiality images in the CSAM. I'll leave that up for a minute.
If we could get through it and forgive each other and come back stronger, why can't they just leave us alone about it? And I don't think that affected Stephan. Didn't last that long. What was it? 3 or 4 months?
A minute
out of 44 years.
Did you talk to Stephan about that situation?
I never gave him the reason why. And I was going to California because I had to have some surgery done and I needed to have somebody that could help me rehab from it because I was not.
He was never exposed to it. So,
No, he was not.
So it was like a moot point.
I guess it was.
I haven't.
And I didn't run away to California just to escape Chris. I went there because Chris was working and traveling and I needed help. And my mother offered to help.
Stephan, was just Stephan?
Okay.
Was it just,
So you
was it
don't
just
see
Stephan?
that as having any impact upon Stephan?
No. If anything,
He was what, seven years old at that time?
yeah, he was in
7, 8,
elementary
yeah,
school
yeah.
now.
Yeah, he wasn't part of it. There wasn't any confrontations because we were separated at the time. So it was just, no, he was not involved.
So just in general, as a child, how would you describe Stephan?
All right, there we go about Stephan. And thank you guys for being here. There's 500 people in chat. If you guys could do me a favor and hit that like button so that we can get in the algorithm, change the narrative. If that's a narrative that needs to be changed, we do only want to get to the truth. We want to know about Jen. Why is she hiding? What did she do? I mean, they know more than we do, obviously, or assume because they know her. I've heard many, we've heard many stories in these last phone calls about why Jen isn't locked up yet, right? So yeah, bestiality, holy crap. I don't put much past Stephan, but as we're listening to these stories, it's not coming from his childhood. It's not like, and that's what they're trying to say is they didn't do anything to him. They didn't have a broken home. He wasn't in foster care. He didn't have abuse. So what happened? That's what I want to know. That's what we all want to know. What happened?
Stephan?
Before or after?
I would say it's two sides of the same coin. There was one side absolutely delightful and beautiful and wonderful and proud to be his parents, and there was the other side that came later that sometimes you didn't even like him. I mean, I can say I can love somebody, but I don't have to like them.
Yeah.
I don't have to like the way they act. But that doesn't mean I don't love them. And that doesn't mean that we're ever, despite what anybody on YouTube says or anybody hints at, we are not abandoning our child. He is wounded. He is having PTSD in jail. He has lost a tremendous amount of weight. He is on heart medication, high blood pressure medication, which he was not before. And I understand that people think that he needs to suffer. Well, yes, okay. He needs to be punished and maybe he needs to suffer. But don't expect me as a mother.
Thank you.
To turn off my heart and say, buddy, you're on your own. I don't like you. I don't like what you did. And I'm not going to stand by you one bit. Because I want him for the time he has left on this earth. And we don't know how long it is. I will give him as much support as he wants and needs. I want him to be strong in body, mind, and spirit. I want him speaking to God. I want him asking for forgiveness. If we can do what we can to keep his mind active, because he is in solitary and has been for 8 months, I will send him as many books as he wants to read. And it's nobody else's damn business what I do with my money or where I send a book. They all have to be approved by the jail. So, and if we want to give him commissary money so he can have coffee or hard candy, whose business is it of it? Really? Wouldn't they do the same? Would anybody?
Yeah, Patty.
I mean, I don't understand throwing them out like bad fish.
All right, there's the big question for you guys: is if your child ended up doing this, a lot of parents do feel guilty, and I don't know why, because I haven't experienced that with my children. My kids are just regular kids so far, thank God. But if you've experienced that with your children, where they just went off the rails from how you raised them, and they went to prison, or you think they would, or something that they may be doing that they might go there, would you support them? That's a good question. I just want to know what you think about that. I've seen my mom and my nephew and my brother. We raised my nephew with us, and my brother is 3 years older. They've done things and gone to prison, and my mom is like kind of like Deb over there, was just sending money and buying stuff and supporting them. So I just want to know. I'm not gonna, Mama Pearl. You guys know Mama Pearl, so I would never say anything bad about her. But that's where I started to empathize with her. Melanie says, as a mother, I'd never been in Deb's position, so I'm not trying to judge because I love my children unconditionally, and that's what I want to know. Rachel says no. Not if they not yeah, there you go. There's a good it definitely is not for that with my brother and my nephew. And that's a good there you go, microwave cheese. I'll keep that up there for a bit.
Yeah, our love is unconditional and unwavering. It's not going to happen. So I don't know how a parent could take that attitude and just abandon their child in spite of what they did. Obviously, there's a reason for what happened. He certainly wasn't raised that way,
He chuckled.
and we're just not going to abandon him. It's not going to happen.
I think they're embarrassed
You're
though,
his
for
parents.
sure.
Yeah.
They're embarrassed.
I'm going to read, just to reiterate this point. I'm going to read another short paragraph here that you guys sent that I think makes this point very well. And this is from you guys prior to our interview. It says, as long as Stephan remains on this earth, the love for our son is deep, unconditional, and unwavering. We will not abandon Stephan. We also are not trying to make excuses for him. He did this, and we know that now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think
yeah.
it's important to reiterate that not only the unconditional love, but also the recognition.
So both you guys, I see you guys saying, what for? Both were robbery. My nephew and my brother, which it coincidentally is his son. My nephew is my brother's son. We raised my nephew. My brother was in prison for 5 of the years when his son was born. Both of them coincidentally went in for robbery. Neither one of them needed anything because we grew up with everything. My mom gave us everything and we were never hurting for money. And she always gave us cars and money and food and anything we wanted. So neither one of them needed money, yet both of them committed a robbery. All right. I'll leave it at that when I say robbery, and that's it. I mean, it wasn't like I don't mean that's it. What I'm saying is it wasn't against a woman or a child. There was no kind of weird pedo stuff. That's a different story. I wouldn't let my nephew over here with my daughter if that were the case, or my brother, but that's not the case. So I'm just letting you know, I try to be as transparent as I can. I see some people saying it's different in public than it would be in private. I'm pretty open. I pretty much tell you guys what I do. That way it doesn't come back. If you're open and transparent, nothing's going to come back on you and bite you because you're not lying or hiding anything. All right. Under Mystic Moon on her book, she already had long dreads at the time. Her bunkie had lice when she had to chop all her hair off. Needless to say, she has 2 children. Well, that's good. That's good. All right, let's keep going.
That your son did a horrible thing.
Can't escape that. We are 100% on board with the fact that he is possibly and identified as the lone perpetrator of all this.
That does not mean that I'm letting Jen off the hook at all. I cannot believe that somebody let this go on underneath their nose for 7 years. I don't understand how she didn't have a connection with Maddie enough that Maddie could go and say, hey, maybe my, something's not right here.
Well, even the roommates,
scared or whatever.
Roommates even questioned Jen. I said, you're okay with this? You're allowing this? I was like, huh? And apparently she did.
But the immunity just galls me. I'm sorry. It galls me.
The immunity, guys.
All of the lies, all of the things that she did are all wiped clean. She never has to worry about it again.
No, she does. She does. That's not true.
Did they give her complete immunity?
Thomas.
Well, I think it's I forgot what they call it. Derivative? No.
Derivative immunity. Yeah.
One time.
Which essentially means that at this point in time, she cannot be charged with that interview that she gave or what she shares with police. But if there's additional evidence of a crime that shows up, she could still be charged for.
Yeah.
One interview.
Ask yourself the big question, the really big question out there. All of that stuff on the computer, all of that stuff on his phone, all of the money that was coming in by the handfuls and the way they were spending it. Where did it come from? And obviously she also participated in spending money. So do you think she was at all culpable?
We don't know that.
Don't know.
We're very suspicious that there was some sort of enterprise going on. And of course, the police won't tell us anything about that. That was one conversation or question I had with them. And it almost sounded like they acknowledged Stephan and eliminated Jen. But something
No, definitely not on trial for mine. I just like to be transparent in case it ever comes back around. I already said it. Like, it's no big deal. My nephew was 18. He had just turned 18 and he got arrested for robberies, and he did 5 solid years. And I got him an attorney. He would have got 27 years if I wouldn't have got him an attorney. And then when he got out, I gave him a job at my job where I worked for the last 18 years. Now he lives with my mom. So, like I said, I'm just being transparent with what I do. I want to know what you do. I like to hear what they do. The earth is not flat. There's all different sides. Nothing's black and white. So that's where we are. And 509 in chat and 309 likes. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here.
something definitely was going on, and I haven't been able to figure that out. But I feel there's something else out there. There's a bigger web, possibly.
As far as I know, I mean, that in all the images they have, there's not a single image that I'm aware of where Jen is in it.
From what I've read, everything is perpetrated by Stephan.
There
Right.
you go,
I think there's definitely a lot of interest in Jen's potential role, and it's certainly something we've raised on our channel in terms of what did she know and what was her involvement. And right now, you know, my presumption is that while she may not have been the best mother, there's not sufficient evidence to really charge her with any crimes at the moment, or to implicate her, you know, in any of the illegal proceedings that we know of. And that's not to say that can't change.
Yeah. You know, so at this point, we
and she still
I
hasn't been
guess
charged.
The next step is the trial, unless, like I said, another shoe drops. But we're not expecting anything else. Of course, we haven't expected any of this either. So
that the phone's not going to get thrown out. And there, right when we stop, there's 555 people in chat. I'll just stop and we'll say a prayer for Maddie that she gets complete and utter justice. You know how we do. So, yeah, that it's not going to get thrown out. We've looked at that 7 ways from Sunday, and that is going to stay in there. Thank you, Linda, for saying that. I appreciate you guys all again for being here. Now they're talking about Jen Soto. I think that they really do think what we do, that she should be arrested. They warned her. They even warned her in front of Stephan, with Stephan, to Maddie and Stephan and Jen, and she continued to keep doing that. And she told us all that. Now, she only got immunity once. As of this interview on March 2nd, 2025, Jen Soto has not been arrested. So let's keep going. I got to document this properly.
you know, we just sit and wait for the next wave of information, if there is anything. I still think it's an open investigation to some degree, but to what extent, I don't know.
I would like to say something.
Not
Please.
people,
And
but
that
just
is that for all that I thought that their relationship was toxic, which I did, we loved Maddie. And I liked Jen. I didn't love Jen, but I liked her. And I feel great pain for her having lost this child and her family. I can't put that aside, that she has lost her child. And so for that, my heart goes out to her, and I say prayers for her. I say prayers for Maddie.
hey, love.
I say prayers for Stephan.
Yeah, so much tragedy in all of this. It's just, you know, what started out as going to a birthday party has turned into an absolute nightmare. I wish I was able to prevent him from going, but it was Maddie's birthday, and
She
that was an
called and
occasion.
asked him to come.
So
Jen
She called
called.
and specifically asked him to come.
See,
No, yeah.
You know, you happen to live, we've talked about this, in the same city as the Laundries, the Laundries, but Brian Laundrie's parents.
Yeah.
oh, thank
And
God they're
people have-
not.
Compared you to them. And I
No.
want to point out something that I think is very clear from the FOIA documents, and that is that you've continuously cooperated with police. And I want to point that out.
I'd
and
like
thank
to
you
know
for
that too.
And while your voices have sometimes shifted through the process, because as you've stated, you learn things along with the public, you were processing things. I know that since we've been talking to you, and admittedly we have talked to you before this interview, you share different views, and we've watched you sort of progress with the truth and the information that has come out there, just as we have, just as everyone has. And I want to point that out and acknowledge that for you, and see that you're changing your views and you're shifting your views and you're open. You also shared with us something that I can't even fathom, as you learned about things slowly and we're again processing and taking this in, and you handed over evidence to police. Here you go. Here's this, here's this hard drive. Take whatever you want. You
They
let them
did.
to your home.
They did.
Police is what I mean.
They brought
And
our dogs in.
yeah,
I mean,
Let her finish it though.
okay.
And we gotta agree, Stephan Sterns is not a hardened criminal. Hardened criminals do not talk on jail calls, okay? You're never gonna catch a hardened criminal that's been raised tough and not to talk to the police and out there doing whatever they're doing real hard, real tough. They're never gonna sit there and talk about anything that they did. And I gotta say, thank God for those jail calls, because that's gonna help seal the deal. That stupid phone, that's Stephan. That's just a formality of the trial. That stupid phone that they want to get kicked out is going to be denied. All right. And we'll hear that soon. You guys, we have I think it's it's supposed to be the trials or picking jurors maybe in May and then September. But that's not going to happen, guys. I really don't think the trials are going to happen in May and September. Let's be real. But we'll start to see more hearings coming up and things get pushed out. And in the meantime, I'd like to talk to Deb. I'd like to talk to you, Deb, about your closeness with Maddie, what Jen did. What else did she do that was being a bad mother? Because if that was it, I bet they wish that they would have done something or intervened. Now, they talked about intervening the day of the party, but what about before that, when they'd realized something's wrong with Stephan and Maddie sleeping together?
no, go ahead. You can interrupt anytime. This is for us to listen to you.
Well, what's interesting, like I said, that Wednesday back in February, while I'm waiting to talk to the police, I'm not even sure they're even going to talk to me. The opening conversation was, were you aware that Stephan was in Northport? What exit do you live off of? Do you know that Stephan was in Northport? I go, what? You're serious? I just drove the middle of the night, tucked him into a hotel room. I went
All right, here we go.
And within an hour, he's out of there. He actually runs to St. Cloud, then he goes to Northport. And I said, you're kidding me. Of course, I learned hours later when Jen called me, go, do you know where Stephan is? I go, no. What do you mean, where is Stephan? He isn't with you? And
this is where this interview is big, because I was really hoping that Chris Sterns knew more about the case. I was hoping that Jen and Stephan called him and was like, oh, we got to get Stephan a lawyer, and kind of leak some stuff out or told some things and implicated Jen, but it didn't happen. If it did, Chris would have said something. What's up, my girl M? Say congratulations, you guys, to M. She is a grandmother today. Congratulations on the baby. All right. Congratulations. It's a beautiful thing. All right. No, CPS was never involved, although they should have been. People should have called, but they didn't. Jen's still being protected to this day. Guilty of crime, awesome mods. Good to see you, Gemini. I hope you feel better soon. You guys keep coming in and hitting the like button, and make sure you share this with your community. All right. Justice for Maddie. # arrest Jen Soto.
I asked him, I said, hey, look, there's a desktop computer at home. Maybe you guys should come get it. He said, okay, we'll make arrangements to do that. Only to find out that the hard drive was removed from it.
Hi,
I know it was there
Ashley.
Sunday morning when he left, because I told the police that after I found that out. So he purposely removed that hard drive. Why? Well, again, as I explained to the police, very forthcoming, that Saturday evening, he was having some sort of anxiety panic attack, and I've never, ever seen this expression on his face. Never. And something he had some sort of information, and had no idea what it was, but he was really panicked.
Prayers, Lindy.
And then to find out that this hard drive was removed. So, we're cleaning out his room a few weeks later, come across this USB drive, 2 of them, as a matter of fact. I put one in both of them computer. One had nothing, just like the evidence shows. The other one, I just hovered my mouse over the fields, didn't see any image, because again, you can't unsee what you see.
It's just file names.
File names, and just from the description, I said, this is not good. And I texted the detective and told him that I had some evidence to turn over to him. It took them 3 weeks to come collect it. And in fact, I had to remind them I had this, and that it was sitting here waiting for them to come collect. And then
we all want to know that, don't we? And I wonder if we're going to get that filled in. All we've ever heard from Jen and Stephan, and now the parents, that there was a panic. I believe I heard that Jen said, just get down here. I need your help for the week. I'm really tired. I'm starting work and I need your help. But I've never heard any other details about that. And from the family, they say Maddie was not in fact pregnant. So I've never heard that there was a scare. I never heard any of that. I've never heard any of that because I'm not on that side, and people are not going to say that. Do you ever go over his mom wrote to you? I did that in the very beginning. I also did that in a separate video for 25-minute video.
Then to learn later in July when I had a conversation with them before this information was dumped out that
Thank you,
there were
Lucky.
35,000 images on that USB drive. And I couldn't believe it. It's unbelievable. I mean, he had to get access to a data dump of some sort, but it's just unbelievable. And why did he have possession of something like that? But every time we found evidence, I immediately notified the police. I mean,
We didn't want it in the house. It was toxic.
yeah, didn't want it in the house, but at the same time, we didn't want any appearances of being complicit and trying to cover anything up. We were, at this point, we weren't interested. We wanted the truth out there.
Yeah, I remember you sharing that, we're discovering those, that 30 over, I just can't even imagine how many images, and learning, right, that Stephan had this in his possession. And I can only imagine.
I didn't even know I don't know how big that drive was, but I didn't imagine that you could hold 35,000 images on it. Well, I guess they can hold gigabytes of stuff, so I guess they can, but it's just hard to believe it.
I feel sorry for the person who went through it and looked at every single image.
And the detectives did. Yeah.
I mean, how do they unsee that stuff? How do they even? I feel like I need to give prayers for them. They really, that had to have been so hard. So hard. And
they also have to go through those images and make sure they don't find anything identifiable, even if they found a hand in it or a pillow that part of it was going to Jen Soto's hair coming out, or another person in it. They have to go through all of that. And that's why I say Jen Soto's complete case right now, that the information we have is all circumstantial. That's why I believe they have not arrested her yet. I don't think they haven't arrested her because they need her as a witness. They're going to use her like Kayla Montgomery no matter what, no matter if she's in orange scrubs or not. They're going to use Jen Soto the moment they have something that they can take to the prosecutor and make it not be a Casey Anthony case, all right? Because circumstantial evidence, it just takes a little bit of persuasion to have a reasonable doubt, and there you go. I mean, if you're being real about that, that's how the law works, and we all know that. Even innocent people get away. I mean, innocent people get convicted, and guilty people get to be found not guilty or innocent, just because a case isn't built right.
People who said that he should have thrown Maddie in a lake and let the alligators eat her, or throw in the woods and let bears eat her, or whatever. I don't think that he did that. I think he was careful in placing her where she would be found quickly.
Right.
I think somewhere deep down inside, he did not want her out there very long.
I went to bed, and Debbie went to bed that Monday night when the supposed disappearance happened, and Stephan describing trafficking, what have you. I went to bed thinking the worst, that she's in a shipping container, crammed full of other kids and going to be deprived of food and water.
But in a high profile case like this, the classic one, and I'm not even just I don't know, I'm not a police officer, I'm not law enforcement, I'm not an ex-prosecutor, but we have talked to law enforcement, ex-prosecution, ex-New York PD, right? We've had we've had 2 sets of NYPD on my show. I've been on Duty Ron's. I collaborated with Strategic. I had Jennifer Coffendoffer. We've done stuff with Gavin Fish, and it all boils down to the same thing. They don't want circumstantial evidence for this high profile case because they don't want to get, they can't double jeopardy this. That's it. They get one chance, and they do not, you guys, this is their biggest nightmare, is to have another Casey Anthony. Now, and this is not coming from me. This is coming from ex-prosecution, all law enforcement, people that are in law enforcement. I've done my homework on this, and that's what my homework says. Yeah, it is crazy. I don't just say this stuff out of I don't have law enforcement experience. I make sure I do my homework, and I've been doing my homework for, Jay would be a badass police officer, right? Hey, I've been asked that before. Are you an officer?
And access to the bathroom for days on end, or what have you. That was the impression I was left with Monday evening and then carry it over into Tuesday and even later into that night, and not discovering until much later that it was all made
Come on,
up
guys.
and that there was something more serious involved. I mean, really ticked me off.
Not only that, but it caused us high anxiety, which we don't need in our condition. And that was what I was doing out there screaming at God. Why? Why would you do this? I am a Christian. I don't know that I'm a great Christian, but I am a Christian and I do love people. I just don't understand them all the time. But I do have empathy for them, and I do, even these people who have sent me some ugly things. I know it's probably hard for anybody to believe that I would actually say prayers to these people, but I think something triggered them, maybe something in their background, in their life that was similar. And I feel so bad for them that they see these things and then they relive it. I can't imagine it. I know what it feels like to feel helpless.
Do you feel that, so setting aside Jen's responsibility, that's still unknown, right? We can speculate, as you said, we're speculating, we don't know. Do you feel, though, that Stephan manipulated Jen?
I think they manipulated each other.
Yes, yeah.
You hear that?
She was,
based on his actions, that Monday morning, he certainly knew how to manipulate her. I mean, going in to collect the dog, making sure she didn't come out of the bedroom. He's got Maddie up hours ahead of school. School didn't start till 9:38. He's got her up at 7.
Right.
Thank you.
He's going out the door at 7:30. What's he going to do for 2 hours? I mean, when you see this timeline of stuff, he goes, "Oh my God!" But again, taking the steps necessary to preserve, his privacy or his actions, and going in and collecting the dog, taking the dog out. And, hey, Jen, do you go back to bed? Oh, okay, thanks, appreciate it. Definitely wanted to keep her where she was at.
it was underhanded,
Yeah.
sneaky. I mean,
Yeah.
Lauren, if it's, I pray to God that it was an accident, that he got mad and that it was an accident, because we didn't know it had gone that far.
Sure.
Because he did tell us that he put her, she went to bed, and that when he went out to walk around and blow off some steam, he came back and to check on her, and she was cold. He said he discovered her.
And there you go. There are the jail calls. Now, we heard this way before, right? We heard this in October or somewhere around there. It must have been September, because I reached out after this interview. So around September, and we heard that just recently the slew of jail calls came out, and I'm really surprised. And I forgot, 'cause it's been a long time since I watched this. I can't believe that they even mentioned that. Again, we wouldn't have heard any of this. Good to see you, my friend. I hope that you're doing good today. I love your picture, your new picture. I hope you're feeling much better. All right. Yeah, he was back at him. You're absolutely right. Stephan Sterns was abusing her for years before everything that came down. All right.
Okay, so
Don't know if that's the truth.
yeah, don't, that's the truth. Don't know if anything's the truth, but
It's what he told you.
it's just
Lips are moving. Don't know if it's the truth.
Right. It's just what he's relaying.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you do a lot right now to protect and process what happened. I guess,
I think
do you have
so,
anything
too.
else, John, to say when it comes to this? Or can I
You and I, we've talked about this on previous shows, but I can come up with plenty of scenarios where it seems like a very logical explanation to say it's an accident. At least as much as saying it's premeditated. So yeah, I don't think it's clear cut. I mean, Stephan knows.
Stephan knows.
Yeah.
Stephan knows. We don't.
Whether or not he's telling
Thank
us,
you,
we don't know.
Ashley.
Yeah, whether he'll
Appreciate you.
whether he'll ever tell us the truth, who knows, right? But I presume if somebody's going to find out, it would be you two.
Yeah.
So, but
I
There
don't
you
think,
go.
I don't think he wants to put himself in a bad light with us. I think he wants to preserve some sort of image of himself as
There you
being
go.
culpable, but not completely culpable.
Yeah, there's just no way for him to communicate with us without everybody.
Right. And remember, they're not just listening to it. We all are. And the whole jury's going to hear it. Everybody's going to hear it. The whole world that's listening to this case heard it. Nerdy Cat, happy birthday. Made it to Alive to spend my birthday with the crew. Everybody, welcome Nerdy Cat and wish her a very happy birthday. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. All right, let's keep going.
Everybody knowing. You can't have face-to-face meetings. Everything's either text with a tablet or a phone call, and it's all monitored. So
yeah,
It is.
we'll never know.
But
While, oh, go ahead.
even when they even when they are recording you, they still write things in their reports that are wrong. Can I assure you that I was never taken out of this house and taken to an emergency room by the police?
Oh,
Where's the bill? Where was the bracelet? I never
They
left
did-
my house.
we reported on that.
Diabetic. I hadn't been eating for almost 24 hours.
okay.
Okay.
Right.
I had a dizzy spell. They did bring in an EMT, check my blood pressure. It was a little low. They asked if I wanted to be transported anywhere, and I said no. I'm fine.
So she
just
didn't
had-
go. Do you
That's
guys
a
remember that?
report. They said they gave the name of a hospital they supposedly took me to, which I never heard of before. So I don't know how that happens.
He probably does now, I'm sure. Anyway, they watch my show, and yeah, probably more than likely absolutely. If not, he will now. All right, let's keep going. Welcome in, everybody. There's almost 600 people in chat. Hit the like. Let me see if I can gift you guys some memberships. You guys need memberships. We need everybody to be green.
Unless they confused two different actions that night and put me in one place and with somebody else. I don't know.
Well, the two of you are going through the unfathomable. Like, honest, I don't think I can't comprehend it while you're learning that a little girl that you love is missing, and then learning that your son is responsible. You two are also dealing with a lot of, I'll call it this, harassment and threats. While you're just trying to process your lives falling completely apart, or what you thought was your reality completely being turned upside down. Can you talk a little bit about that too? Because I just feel like in this true crime community, the way we cover crime is important, and we so often dehumanize the people we're discussing. And I just was wondering if you could share a little bit about what you two have been dealing with.
Well, like I said, there's not a day.
And the only way you could win memberships, guys, is by interacting with us, hitting the like or sharing or making a comment. You don't even have to be in chat, and you can still win. So thank you guys again for being here. Can I hit the like for each of the voices in my head? You can. You have to do it 4 times though, just to make sure.
It doesn't go by that we don't think about Maddie, and certainly we wonder about Stephan, and we wonder if we'll ever know the reason how and why this came about. When did this start? How he got to this point? Why he didn't feel the need to come to us and tell us that he had a problem?
Right?
What's the question?
The question is how we're dealing with the harassment, and I'm the one that's getting the harassment.
Okay.
I'm getting the ugly text messages. I'm getting the ugly phone calls, the horrible, horrible descriptions of what they want done to my son, the horrible descriptions of what they want me to do to myself. They suggested several ways I can kill myself.
Oh my goodness.
One woman was it was funny actually.
That's not funny.
She sent me a text and says, "Deborah, there's a man in the woods." I'm sure that was supposed to scare me. Like there's somebody out there, taking pot shot, going to take pot shot at me. Well, good luck. But because I'm from the South, I guess I have a wacky sense of humor. But I wanted to send her a text back that says, "Sweetheart, this is the South. There's always men in the woods. We don't know what they're doing. They're pissing, they're spitting, they're shooting. I don't know what they're doing, but they're in the woods. So if you thought you were scaring me, no."
But yeah, people trying to scare you. Wow.
Yes, we have people saying that they're going to come down here. We have people saying that what they would like to see happen to me, and then have graphic descriptions of what they want to see happen to Stephan. Male and females do this. It's not that, and they can get to us no matter where, because every time we do something like change our phone number, then they dox us again on YouTube and give us the new phone numbers. So, how many times do you have to change your phone number in your business cards?
That's messed up though.
Gosh.
Calling
what
people.
do we have to do? Do we have to live in self-confinement all the time, afraid to even go?
Now that's like a kid thing to do, guys. That's stupid to call someone and be prank calling the parents. Like, hey, if you want to say something, just call them and say it to them. But that's childish. Now, I didn't have the number, but I found it because it's all out there, and I would never put it on there. I mean, that's something that we would do when we were like 10, right? Yeah, they're all the jail calls are public records, and everybody has that reality of it being public. Right. And Florida is the worst place. If you ever want your life to be put out there when you commit a crime, go to Florida. And then you want the death penalty on top of that, go to Florida and commit a crime, because Florida is all about having this in the public.
Go to the grocery store because somebody might walk up to me in a parking lot and accost me. Is somebody following us as we go around and we don't know? Cars parked around. We don't know if somebody's hiding in them watching us. Chris walked up the other day and there was a person out front with a cell phone taking pictures of our house. So, said he was, what did he say he was?
He was taking some B-roll for something.
What I'm where B-roll is, taking B-roll for a television show, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, we're not the story. We're not the face of this. Like I said, we're just as shocked by all of this. And we know as much as the public knows, no more and no less, whatever's out there. And if we've missed something in some of these reports, well, again, as I said, we've seen enough evidence to convince ourselves that Stephan did this and was involved. We're not denying that.
There you go.
I'll admit that I didn't believe it at first. I didn't. I said, I do. And I'm not making excuses for him. But as for me, the more people screw with us and the more lies they say, the more angry I get at them. Because why? What gives them the right? They have no skin in the game. They don't know any of us. They don't know anything about us, but they can sit there and just hold court on these shows, either by writing or by calling in and describe what they think we are and how we should be treated. Why? What does that do for them? And what does it do for us?
Right.
You got people who are brokenhearted and your life is falling apart and everybody's picking at you.
I mean, people should really think twice about that. I wish people would think twice about what they do to those around them as well. It does suck. Look at Jeffrey Dahmer's dad. After Jeffrey Dahmer committed those crimes, his dad was there the whole time by his side until the day he died. He was defending his son in a way that his son's a human, whatever. And Jeffrey Dahmer is one of the worst of the worst. All saying, good to see you. And you finally got to talk to Melanie. What's up? And hopefully Wyatt comes around. Hopefully he's doing okay. Melanie, where's Wyatt? Let's keep going.
Why? Why are people so mean? Why are they so vindictive? And why are they so ugly about it? I don't understand that. We don't do that to people.
You're good.
We wouldn't do it to somebody else. You think we live here where the Landrys are? You think we wouldn't harass the Landrys and say, why did you do this? Why did you help him get away? Why did you do that? Didn't you know what was going on? No, it's none of our business. Well, it's none of their business about us either. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But they're so attracted to it and they're so inflamed by what they hear on the YouTube channels, and they're allowed just free reign. And somebody said that we put in a complaint against YouTube, and we never done anything like that. We believe in the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. It's freedom of speech, but by the same choice or chance, you can't scream fire in a crowded room. That's against the law. Why would you turn somebody? Why would you paint a target on my back, on my husband's back? Why? What good does that do? You're not punishing the perpetrator. You're punishing people who had nothing to do with it and didn't know anything about it and are just as brokenhearted as anybody could be.
And again, my mom's 70 and I've seen what my nephew and my brother have done. People can blame her, but I would hate for that to happen to her. Again, different circumstances, but still, if you have empathy, you can't change that. If you have sympathy and empathy for people as a human race, or animals or anything, you can't just turn your empathy on and turn your empathy off. I can't. I wish I could. Lindy, thank you for gifting the One Guilty of Crime membership. I gifted 5 earlier. I hope whoever wanted a membership got one. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you. There's almost 600 people in chat. We're getting through this. We're almost done, y'all.
Maybe more so because we actually knew these people and lived with them. These other people don't. They have no idea who we are.
Oh, Gray Moon, you're funny.
Today will help with some clarification and some understanding.
Maddie was a baby.
Your story and your situation. And fear is a very potent toxin, right? You don't know how that toxin is going to affect people, but you're seeing it. Unfortunately, I think you're seeing it day to day.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how difficult it must be to deal with just an unimaginable grief and at the same time to go through the harassment and all the things you're going through. That must be just a really difficult combination to deal with. So I feel for you guys.
I sought help. I went to see a counselor, and I saw
Okay.
about 6 weeks. And then I finally, just on the last visit, I said, this isn't working out for us because you're not listening to me. You're falling asleep when I'm talking. And
Justice for Maddie.
it gives me
Yes.
a bad taste in my mouth about counselors. Are you just nothing but a paycheck to them? And I went there for help because
And that's how she's feeling right now, regardless of whatever Stephan did, whatever Jen did, whatever they didn't do, whatever regrets they have. That's how she's feeling right now. This is 6 months later, and she's still feeling like that. She doesn't want to be attacked. And I understand that. I'm not going to be the one to attack her. I'll tell you that much. Carolina, good to see you. Exactly. We're all parents here. Unless these parents knew what Stephan did, they shouldn't be harassed. That absolutely, I would be livid if somebody did that to my mom, no matter what. All right. Now, guilty of crime. Your mom never said God has a reason. No, absolutely not. That I agree with. And my nephew and my brother did not do any of that. Bottom line is we're here for Maddie, and we want complete and utter justice, and we want to know what went down. We want to know what happened. What did Jen do as a parent that was so bad? I mean, we know that she let Stephan sleep with Maddie, and that ultimately got her daughter's life taken. But I wonder what other signs they saw when Deb says, I detest Jen's parenting. What does that mean? What else did she do or didn't do? Synth, thank you so much for the 20 guilty of crime memberships. Synth is making it rain, y'all. Drop a link, Synth, to your bakery or your website or whatever you got going on. Same thing, Tiff. Tiff, if you're in chat, drop the link to the merch, please. And thank you. Yes, she was. They both were. Everybody was in that house, all right?
I am dealing with my own depression. So.
And I
Kick the
commend you for
potato.
seeking help, whether or not this was the right counselor for you. It sounds like it is definitely not, but just to go and to seek that help is difficult. And I commend you for that.
Thank you.
I hope that we can find something better. I'm sorry.
I wish I could find somebody that acted like they cared. Really, and, maybe somebody who's dealt with other people going through this. I don't know. This is a small town. I don't know what's available here. But I mean, what do you do? Advertise it, hey, mother of a monster seeks help.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry you went through that. I the only thing I can say is sometimes in the mental health field, some therapists are a good fit and some aren't. So
Not like now I can drive over to your house.
Yeah. All right.
But I thank you for listening to us. It's been helpful, and you guys you've been supportive without being enabling, and very professional. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the way you present things in your podcasts or your YouTube channel. I think you go for the truth, and I don't think you don't embellish it. And that's my problem with some of these people, is letting people on there to vent that are lying, and they don't know it, and they just get used. That's sad.
Good night.
But it's true. And in the meantime, we're sitting here being told, don't answer any of these, don't contact any of these people, don't try to refute it because you just make it worse. The attorney told us that, said, just be quiet.
Thank you, microwave cheese.
Don't try to stand up for yourself. Well, I'm not real good at not standing up for myself, but I've taken it for a long time now, and frankly, we're tired of it.
Yeah, understandably. Well, yeah. Thank you for allowing us to listen, and your voices. Every voice deserves to be heard and to listen to. Is there anything else you two feel like you want to share right now?
I am afraid that we will pass before Stephan does.
Oh, you will. You guys will. I mean,
I worry about that.
I think they're mourning that right now.
I worry about who will take care of him. I worry about who's going to bury him. And that bothers me. We're too old to go through this crap. We are too old and too beat up. But if he's executed, Chris has asked me if I wanted to be there. And I said yes.
We were there when he was born, we'll be there when he dies.
I want him to know that there are two people in that room that are going to be sad when he's gone. And they will send him with love. Okay.
I'm gonna hit end recording now.
All right, we're going to stop this, you guys. Thank you guys for being here as an awesome community. We still have 581 people in chat. We're an hour and 20 minutes, but I could certainly play that Grish video. I am going to break it down tomorrow because I want to talk about that freaking text message that we see at the end of this, you guys. If you guys are in chat, there's 581 people here. If you want to watch that Grish video again with me right now, hit a 1 in the chat, put 1. Otherwise, I'm going to go off and freaking take a nap or something. I'm tired, but otherwise, I'm going to do the Grish video tomorrow. If you guys want to watch the Grish video now, it's only 14 minutes. I can put it on right now. All right. Seems like you guys want to watch it. Everybody's talking about it. It is brilliant. It's brilliant. I didn't tag him in it. I will tag after, and then tomorrow I'm going to cover it. So I'm going to play it. I'm not going to really interject too much. We're just going to watch it together because everyone's talking about it. I watched it earlier. I don't mind watching it again. And if I don't talk much, we can just get through it. And you guys see what you see. And then tomorrow we'll come back and break it down and discuss it. Either tomorrow or Friday we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it for sure, but call-ins, etc. So we all love Grish. He had like less than 2,000. Now he's he had like a 1.5 thousand. Now he's almost to 3, or halfway. Let's get him to 5,000 real soon, guys. I'm gonna press play on this and let's watch that together, and then we'll break it down tomorrow.
Between 7:30 and 8 o'clock on Monday, February 26th, Jim files a missing person report for her daughter, Madeline.
4 hours later.
The police are back, and
This is
they're
crazy.
seemingly making an unannounced visit to Jen and Stephan's house.
This is
One of
great.
the first things I notice is that the body cam footage starts when the officer is already out of the car and walking up the sidewalk. In the footage from 4 hours prior to this, it starts well before the police officer parks and gets out the car. That can mean anything, but watch this. At this point, Stephan's car will be directly behind the police officer to the left. So being that the police officer is shining his flashlight through all the other cars in the lot, it makes me feel as though before the body cam started recording, they may have looked in Stephan's car a little bit more than they want the body cam to show in the future. Another thing that I noticed is that the audio doesn't start until 30 seconds into the video.
This is crazy. This is always crazy. Man, thank you guys. I
The
appreciate
white
you
car
guys for
there is
being
Jen
here.
Soto's Nissan. And
What's a
one other
Foxy
thing the
box?
police officer does is he blocks his body cam for a whole 10 seconds
Thank you,
before
Linda.
knocking on the door. This is my opinion, but I think one of the reasons why the police just showed up like this is so that they can just check Jen and Stephan's temperature to see how they would react when they're not given any heads up notice and the police just show up.
Agreed.
I also think that Jen's parents were suspicious of her and Stephan from the very beginning, and they made the police aware of that without Jen and Stephan noticing. Right after the police were done interviewing Jen and Stephan here, they went over to Jen's sister's house and talked to Juan Soto. And you know, Juan Soto was in the car that's in front of the cop right here, and I know that because if you looked a little closer, you would have seen Juan outside the office.
That's crazy. I didn't see that. I did not see that.
Hello.
This part's mind
Are
blowing,
you
guys.
Madeline's mom? No. Are you Madeline's mom?
Yes.
Did she come home?
A Xanax in her mouth.
I know how people joke around calling Jen Soto a potato, but the potato thing is really what you get when you are part of the Xandemic. Your face will be bloated out, dry and crusty.
You don't know where she would have gone. No. Did she take anything? Any clothes?
I've
Her birthday money is still here. Toothbrush, everything.
Okay. So nothing that she like took with her and went somewhere else.
That's Grandpa.
Is there any place that you guys think that she would have went? Any
Grandpa.
friends' houses?
The only friend I could have thought was Sage Ellis, but I think Orange County PD already went to her house and
Okay.
talked to them.
Okay. What's that address? Just so I can make sure they already checked there. So they're trying to
Hey,
look
Yesenia.
everywhere they can.
Good to see you.
Of course. That's what he's supposed to say after you say thank you.
I love Grish.
First name is Sage, last name Ellis.
Yeah, ELLIS.
Okay.
Let's see if I still have Google Maps pulled up.
Hit the like button, guys. Get your memberships. Throw a pill in her mouth. Eat this,
Did she go to
Jen.
school today?
No.
No. Okay.
She was supposed to. She was dropped off close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way because she was embarrassed by his car.
That sounds familiar.
Okay.
Let's teleport
which
back.
is normal for her to ask to be.
It's an image. What spot was in that stretch?
So she's embarrassed by his car. So she didn't want to be dropped off at school. She wanted to be dropped off like half a block away so she can walk.
It's an image thing. She's in the face.
But he dropped her off half a block away.
Right.
But she
What?
never made it.
What was I saying? Huh?
I
That's Jen.
went to the school to pick her up at the end of the day, and she never came outside. I drove away thinking maybe she walked to my mom's office because sometimes she'll do that if I can't pick her up. And my mom's office is less than, what would you say, half a mile away?
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
Something like that.
Something like
She
that.
would get there. School ends at 4:04. She would get there by 4:35 the latest. She
Put a
never got
Xanax
there
in
by
your mouth.
4:35.
Mm-hmm.
I started driving around. I went back to the school. The school was closed.
Look at this
Um,
scripted.
She screamed she could maybe walk to her grandma's house, but that's a lot further.
When the school was closed, I realized something was wrong. I called Sage and I said, "Hey,
So
did you see Maddie today?
scripted.
Because, or is she with you? Because I can't find her."
Mm-hmm.
And
I
she
can't
said,
find her. Like you can't find your pillow.
"No, she never made it to first or second period." And I said, "What do you mean? I dropped her off at school." And she's like, "She never made it to school." And I said, "Can you please check with the rest of your friends, see if she made it to any of her other periods?" At this point, I messaged her teachers directly, and I asked if any of them saw her. 2 of them responded to me. One of them told me he didn't make it. She didn't make it to his period, and he also checked her attendance for the rest of the day. She never made it to any of her periods. This is when I knew something was truly wrong because she was dropped off by him close to the school. She should have made it to school. At that point, that's when I called 911. This was around 4:35, 4:40. Police did not show up till 7:30, I want to say.
Up in Orange County.
Up in Orange County.
Okay.
And then at that point, that's when all the questions started happening. And then he took them to where he dropped her off.
Look at her posture. She really looks like a potato, guys. Like, and she's high as a
Someone
kite.
in an outfit she was wearing sit in their parking lot
She
for a
has
little
strange
bit,
body
like take a
language.
break from her walk because she was early for school, and then get up and then leave towards the school.
Dude, her hands are like,
That's as far as
she keeps doing this with her hands. Like they're like
Okay. Were you able to find Sage's address?
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I know
this
you guys got a
text
lot going on.
message. She's holding the door up. Now she's going like this. Doot, 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 doot. My
Did
daughter's
she take
missing.
her school
What am I
laptop
doing?
with her?
she did.
She did.
She did.
They already tried to track it, but unfortunately the unit is completely powered off,
Oh, okay.
completely offline according to them. They were unable to do anything with it.
Okay. She doesn't have any other kind of technology that you guys can track. I'm sure you guys already
No
checked
text,
that.
no nothing.
She
Normally she
accidentally,
has her phone, but she left it at home.
and that is normal for her. She's got ADHD. She's very forgetful.
Very forgetful.
I always have to remind her.
We're kind of forgetful too.
Right.
sometimes.
Do, do, do.
I
We're forgetful too
believe-
sometimes.
No,
Shut
this
up,
is-
Stephan.
I wish I could see what's reflecting off her glasses because it's taking way too long for her to find this address.
Right? It's because she's high as a kite. That's why.
How do you spell that? Let me see that.
Hey, Kathleen. Good to see you, my friend.
Gotcha. And what's a good phone number for Sage, if you guys have one?
Yeah.
Should have.
She's like, yeah, this is crazy. Watch this text message. If you haven't seen this yet, the text message, it catches her off
Okay,
guard.
no other family in the area except for
Grandma.
grandma.
The existing family already.
Um,
Shut up, Stephan.
Yeah.
The only other closest family member is my sister. She lives in the next neighborhood over.
Mhm.
If you were to exit the back gate.
That's where Jen is, folks, at
Next
her
door, right over
sister's
here?
house.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you exit the back gate, the first neighborhood to your left, it's
Yeah.
called Plantation.
Mhm.
She lives in there.
Okay.
But yeah, she was in the office helping me with the police, and she was the one who actually went through her phone and her messages and was trying to see if there was anything weird.
Yeah.
We didn't see anything too weird.
Nothing weird. You guys haven't had any recent arguments?
No.
And
16
Jen, there's no way that she just being, a teenager was like, maybe had a fight with you or an argument with you and was like, you know what, I'm going to go hang out at so-and-so's house and teach her a lesson. Could that be a scenario?
I don't believe so. We actually haven't gotten into a fight in like a few weeks
Jen now will show off her deflection skills.
or arguments or anything like that. If anything, on Sunday, she celebrated her 13th birthday with.
You guys haven't had any recent arguments?
Recently, no. Apparently,
This is great right here, how Grish goes back and then deflects to the last interview. His skills, that's where I don't have any kind of video skills. What he's doing is like perfect. So you guys do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. I did drop the link in my description of Grish, and we'll go over this tomorrow. Barb Murray, yes, the jury has been picked in the Lori Daybell trial. All right, so that's new. And other than that, Lori's just being her own lawyer because she has nothing to lose. She's already serving multiple life sentences for taking the life of her children. All right. Now back to Jen Soto and her deflection and this crazy text message that she forgot about, which is really going to point at her in this interview.
on February 2nd, she sent a few messages to a friend stating that she would run away.
Potato face warning. Look at it.
But
She's
it
high
must
as a
have been
kite.
From the messages, we must have been arguing, or I must have said something that upset her because she was very upset.
Look at the drool,
Texting
guys.
her friend.
She's
Do you
drooling.
guys still have those?
Doesn't look like Jen was ready for that one.
Yeah.
So high. It's a beanie.
You see that? Remember when Angelica was talking about seeing the tools on the table and she didn't remember what the tools were, but she remembered seeing a hammer?
This is brilliant.
Now, that looks like a hammer to me. And the other things, I can't tell what they are, but their square shape makes me think that they're an AC adapter for a cheaper power tool. Angelica also talked about seeing Stephan do laundry and that Stephan never does laundry.
This is brilliant right here. Look at this.
So why was he doing laundry this time?
I love that he did that. We're never going to see Stephan do laundry again, by the way, guys. He's never done it before. He didn't do it then. He only did it to get rid of it. And I do think he mixed the laundry up, guys. I think what he did when he mixed the laundry up was put his boxers on top. So everything
And
would be
that's her
touching.
This is her phone. I don't know why it's. Hold on a second. It's wet.
Jay, should I? Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know his email. Send it, baby. Send it.
Do you remember who
Starts with an S.
Stephan sounds so stupid trying to act like he doesn't know Madeline's friends' names because he wants to look like he's the one that doesn't remember them the most because
The
he is
pedo.
what he is.
Pedos remember little girls' names.
Yes.
I mean, it could be. Her name could start with an S. It could start with a C and sound like an S.
No, I'm just trying to see. It's Savannah.
Savannah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, sure you don't, Stephan.
Yeah, this is Savannah. Okay, this is her. See, I don't recall getting in a fight and saying this to her, but
And no, we never heard this.
Sure, we'll
We
take
get to
that, I
read it
know.
now. This is
I mean, I
crazy.
taught her.
She said I taught her. I never heard this before. If you guys haven't seen this, when you do see it, this is what Maddie's saying about Jen, what Jen tells her when she tries to kick her out of the house, and why Maddie talks about going to the woods. No, Stephan is never going to get out. All right, so this is brilliant of Grish. Yeah, both hands. Her hands are like doing this, her pinky's doing this. Mom's acting out now. Shake my head. Now, Maddie's texting somebody else, and they pulled it from her phone. This is Maddie's phone. Mom's acting up now. Shake my head. And said, I don't want to live with someone like that. When you're 18, I might kick you out. And I talked all this January and how I wouldn't, but I might. And then underneath it says, like, bitch, how does that make me think that you're a good mom? That's Maddie telling somebody and talking about what her mom said, what Jen told her, that she's going to kick her out. Good idea, Osane. This is brilliant. Brilliant, Grish. It always comes up when she's pissed like that. She wants to kick Maddie out of the house and she talks crap to her, knowing that she's jealous of Sterns and her and wasted. Yeah, brilliant, Grish. Brilliant. All right, so we're done with that. Where's the dang video? All right. All right, guys, that was it. We were here for an hour and 36 minutes. I know it didn't feel like that, but you guys, do me a favor on your way out. Smash that like button. We're going to be doing more giveaways here soon. All that fun stuff. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. There's 631 people in chat. So we hope to get 631. We love you guys. If you missed it, go back and be part of the rewatch crew and then share with your friends. We will discuss the Grish video tomorrow. Okay. So you guys have a wonderful night. It's 5:30 over here. And I'm done. Love you guys. And tomorrow is Turtle Island. We have Turtle Island to look forward to and another episode of Guilty of Crime. All right. Yeah, time does fly. Time does fly. We hear you, Foxy. Foxy says, sexy ass Grish. Well, I think Grish has a girlfriend. Last time he was talking about fixing his girlfriend's, I don't know what he was fixing, but the whole video. So maybe I'll pull that down. All right, guys. Love you. See you here tomorrow. If you didn't watch the video, go watch that 25-minute video of me looking like I'm telemarketing. All right, peace out.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?